What's up, Buttercup? Welcome back to Raw Truth with Lake. And around here, we don't pretend like we have life figured out. We are just talking about how we're learning through it. So, depending on what time you're watching, either grab your coffee or your cocktail and let's get into it. Have you ever bent over backwards to keep someone in your life? I have, obviously. And one day I realized I wasn't afraid of losing them. I was afraid of being alone. And I realized that I needed to start living my authentic self and to find myself. I have literally done this in every single relationship I've ever been in. Every single one of them. And as a anxious attachment girly, I think if you are this type of attachment style, you could probably relate, because what happens is that our fear of abandonment kicks in and we literally will start to change our whole fucking personality to try to keep someone in our life. It has happened every single time. When I was in my longest relationship, I literally started to try to change myself. Like, I was changing everything to try to make it so we didn't fight as much or make it so it was easier. And you become to a point where you can't even recognize yourself anymore. You just become a shell of a fucking person. And honestly, it's not anybody else's fault except for yourself. And for a long time, I blamed them for it being their fault. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault at all. It was my fault. It was my fault for not sticking to my boundaries. And that's like the biggest lesson I've learned in the last 6 months to, well, actually almost a year now. Crazy. We often sacrifice ourselves to avoid losing other people. So we just get to this point where we're so scared of being alone that we start to change our whole personality just trying to keep that one person in our life. When in reality, like, we just need to find ourselves to be more comfortable and more secure. So some of the things that you can recognize of what it looks like to lose yourself in a relationship, and this can go for work, this can go for family, this can go for friendships, this can go for relationships, all the things. Saying yes when you actually mean no. Walking on eggshells and changing the way that you handle a certain situation to not try to upset somebody else. Shrinking your personality and literally just biting your tongue. Accepting less than you frickin' deserve. Ignoring red fucking flags that are right in front of you. Constantly seeking reassurance. Making excuses for someone's behavior. And putting their needs before your own. So at what point did I stop choosing myself? Because honestly, it's really hard when you start to think about it and you start to like look back and be like, when did this start? I was happy. When did I start changing? And I think it's one of those things that you really can't like pinpoint. Some people might be able to. I can't. I can't tell you in any of the relationships when it changed. And when I really started to change myself, I lied. I can tell you. It's when I fall in love. Not all the time. I shouldn't say that. But, God damn it. When I fucking fall in love, I really start to like, oh my God, I can't ever lose this. What am I going to do without this person? How am I going to keep them in my life forever? When in reality, when you start to change yourself, that's when the spark starts to lose because they loved you for you. And honestly, I think that's why I was with my ex-husband as long as I was, because I was, in the beginning, super strict about making sure that I'm hanging out with my friends and I'm spending time with my people and just not... I was really good about not losing myself for a few years, honestly. And I think that's why that's why we got along, and that's why we ended up getting married. And I definitely, I don't know when it switched in that relationship, but I know it did, because at the end of it, I was not myself anymore, and I really had to find myself again. When I was in the next relationship, I literally, I realized it when I became pregnant, I guess. And when I became pregnant, I realized that I need to put my baby first. And that's when it really started to switch. And I think that's when I started to realize, like, not really, I wasn't really aware of my attachment style at that point, but I was starting to, like, catch on to certain things that would, I didn't, like, attach it to an attachment style. I just, like, thought of it internally of just, like, an issue. There wasn't a word to it yet at that point. And I really started to realize this in the following relationship, actually even before then, because there's a couple times I let people get close. I never fell in love with them, but I let them get close for sure. And I started to realize that there was some key points. And my sister actually started me on this, where she said, you really need to look into anxious attachment. Like, that's our style. And I kind of ignored her. But then, like, when things actually started to happen again and started getting triggered again when I got into a relationship, like a more serious relationship, that's when I realized I am an anxious person. I do have anxious attachment style tendencies. I probably should start paying attention to them, because it's not really normal. And he was an avoidant, so we are complete freaking opposites. 100% opposite. And it almost made me an avoidant in a way. So now I'm, like, trying to tip the scales back a little bit, because I was trying to learn his attachment style and he was trying to learn my attachment style, and it's wild, because it was very, like, eye-opening and, like, shadow work opening, which means you just have internal growth, is what I call it, because we broke up twice, so I got 2 experiences of the same thing practically, to see how I handled it. This is so wild. To see how I handled it and how I reacted to the same situation at 2 different times in my life. And I definitely had a more secure attachment the last time. I still was a fucking disaster. But the first time, it was horrible compared to the second time. So I do know that I've had growth. Like, there is key metric checkpoints. I don't know what the word is. I can't think of it. But anyways, indicators. Key metric indicators? That's not it. Key point indicators. I don't fucking know. KPIs. Whatever the fuck that stands for. Somebody can correct me in the comments. But there was definitely, like, growth. So that's a plus. I'm getting off topic. And actually, I'm not. I'm getting into the same topic. I definitely got to a point where I started to walk on eggshells. I was saying yes when I actually meant no. I was accepting so much less than I fucking deserved both times. Every time. I was literally just trying to make the other person happy, to try to get them to not leave me. And in retrospect, I feel like if I would have stood my boundaries better, it might not have ended the same way maybe, but it was supposed to end that way, because I was supposed to learn these things through that process. And now I'm like, holy fuck, what the fuck was I thinking? In every single one of those relationships. Every time you actually separate from someone, you're so heartbroken, especially as an anxious attachment girly. And then all of a sudden you start to heal and like weeks go by, you cry less. And then all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck was I thinking? I was accepting the bottom, like I wasn't even getting bare minimum. I wasn't even getting bare minimum at that point. I literally went through hell. So wild to think about. I was ignoring red flags, constantly seeking reassurance, all the fucking things, right? Putting their needs before mine. I don't know if it's appropriate to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. At the end of it, I literally like told him I was willing to do something that I'm totally not comfortable doing. Trying to get him to not leave me. What the actual fuck was I thinking? Because that's not, I wouldn't do that. Like, I wouldn't even do that in the moment. I just said it. Trying to get him to not leave me. So why do we do it? Because we have that fear of abandonment and we have this fear of being alone. We want to fucking be chosen as a anxious attachment after a breakup. That is like the thing that you think about the most is why the fuck can't someone choose me? Why the fuck can't I be why can't someone love me as hard as I can love them? Why can't someone change their shitty toxic behaviors for me? Why do I have to be the one that gets fucking hurt every time? Why? Right? Childhood wounds, attachment styles, believing love has to be earned, confusing love with self-sacrifice. That's why we do it. Because we convince ourselves that bare minimum is enough. It's not, you guys, it's not. It's not enough. Stop fucking accepting bare minimum. Stop fucking accepting these manipulative fucking assholes. Stop mistaking playing hard to get with someone that's just playing hard to get and you think that they like you when in reality you're not their fucking first choice. Stop mistaking this shit for fucking love because it's not. It's you lowering your fucking bar to try to make somebody love you because you feel like it's easier to accept less from someone that you're comfortable with than going and finding more with someone new. Like, it's fucking scary, you guys. I have redone it over and over and over again. And every time I end up single, it feels like you're restarting. You're not. You're not restarting. You're getting a new chapter. When you end up single, we're getting a new opportunity to find something better. No matter how fucking much you think that the last guy was the best thing in the whole fucking world, I fucking promise you, it wasn't. There is a reason why the universe cleared that shit out of your fucking way. And if you just lean in and listen to it and just accept it and just say, all right, God, I'm handing it all over. I trust you. I trust the process. I guarantee you, he's going to be like, okay, good job. You passed. The universe is going to hand you what's next. And I might be crazy for saying this. And this might bite me in the ass someday. But so far, I've been proven that this is like legitly true. And I feel like those people, like, I get so jealous thinking about this because there's some people that just have found their person so young and have been with their person forever. I'm fucking 33 years old. And like, I haven't gotten married to my person. Like, what the fuck? Why me? But then I think, I'm like, did they just accept all of the challenges that God given them, or like the universe showed them and was trying to teach them so much quicker than I did, because I just have to learn the fucking hard way? And like, obviously everybody's journey is different. Obviously, I understand that. And maybe their past life, they had a lot harder, and this is the life that they get an easier take. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but it makes me really jealous of them. And I'm just like, if I could have just fucking learned my lesson sooner, would I be with my person at this point? Probably not, because my person also had to learn their lesson, and they're also growing through some shit, and we couldn't be together until whenever, you know? So, wild. My concept of how life works is just really far out there, and we're not going to get into that in this episode. So anyways, the cost of losing yourself is a ton of shit. We're talking anxiety, overthinking, resentment, low self-worth, losing your confidence, feeling emotional exhaustion all the fucking time, and looking in the mirror and not being able to recognize yourself. Because how many times at the end of a breakup do you look in the mirror and you're like, what the fuck happened to me? I used to be so fun. I used to love flirting. I used to love just being my fucking self, dancing around, just being fucking crazy. And every time I get back into the single life, I'm like, fuck, I am fun. I am a fucking menace. I say that every day. I say the most unhinged shit. Why am I not this person when I'm in a relationship? Because I have these bad attachment styles that I need to work through. I have these bad tendencies that I do, that I need to work through. And I need to stick to my fucking boundaries, and I need to stick to all the things that I say I'm going to do. Back to being a menace. I literally tell myself this all the time. I'm like, oh my God, I am so much fun. My friends get a fucking kick out of it. I say the most unhinged shit. Why do I do this? And the crazy thing is, like, I talked about this in the last episode. You're not going to start healing the things that you need to heal in order to be in a relationship without triggering yourself by being in a fucking relationship. So get the fuck back out there. What the fuck do you have to lose? Yourself? Well, you'll find her again, or you'll find him again. Like, that is the whole point of being in this life. Like, we are meant to grow. And yeah, 100%. There's so many people that are out there and they're so much in peace with being single, and I have nothing against that at all. I'm just not one of those people. I want to fucking find my person, and I want to settle the fuck down. I want to be in partnership. Like, that is what my soul was made to do. I am meant to fucking love somebody, and love somebody fucking hard. And you'll be fucking damned if I don't go and try to do that. And I think that we normalize trying to convince people to be single. I was literally just listening to a TikTok live about this, and she was talking about how it's really sad how, like, it's crazy how much people try to force or like convince other people to be single just because either jealousy, right? If you're in a shitty ass marriage and you have friends that are single and you're like, stay single, don't get married, just because you're in a shitty relationship, and you're just comparing that to other people's situation or whatever, or to your situation, and that's not fair. But then, like, we have all these single friends that just love it, and I love that for them. I love that for them, and I hope that they're getting everything in life that they ever could have wanted. But when they tell you, you should really just stay single, you should really just focus on yourself. Bitch, I've been focusing on myself and growing myself every time I'm fucking single. And it's not like I've been in relationships for a long time. I've been single every like 4 fucking months for the past 2 years. Like, I hear you, but at the same time, like, that's not what I want to do with my life. If that's what you want to do with your life, go fucking be it. Just like Just like me posting my goddamn TikToks with my helmet on, but a goddamn tank top and all these fucking gear police come out. You do you, boo. Don't fucking tell me how to live my life. I appreciate you looking out for me, but like, I don't go around and tell you what to do with your life. Do you have your seatbelt on? Did you look both ways before you cross the road? No. I'm not gonna fucking police you. Don't fucking police me. If I want to be in the dating scene, I'm allowed to do what I want. You're allowed to do what you want. I'm allowed to have my own opinions. You're allowed to have your own opinions. So the turning point, the moment that you realize, wait, what about me? In the last relationship, I talked about how it ended and that he was on dating apps. And I think how my brain works is like, I don't think that he actually meant ill intent. I don't. Was it wrong? 200% yes. It was incorrect and like unethical and wrong. But at the same time, I don't think that he meant ill by it. I think that was a coping mechanism that he was used to using, and that's why he did it. Not making excuses at all. It was fucked up. But the universe had to shove something in front of me to make me realize, wake the fuck up. Like, and when that happened, I literally like went to like, what about me? What the fuck am I doing here? Why the fuck am I accepting this kind of shit? I needed the wake up call. If it would have been anything less than that, I still would be trying. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, sometimes we need those moments. Just like getting pregnant. I needed the moment to be like, what about me? Why the fuck do I have to accept all these goddamn breadcrumbs? Because, no. The fuck? No. Realizing that peace is more valuable than keeping the wrong people in your life. And sometimes it takes a little bit for you to realize this, and that's okay. Sometimes we have to fall off the goddamn horse to realize when we hit the ground that like, holy shit, what just happened? Realizing that choosing yourself isn't selfish. And it took me weeks after every single relationship. It took me months with my husband to realize what I was accepting and what I deserved. And this might piss off a lot of people, probably more men than women, but when a woman initiates a divorce, and honestly a man too, I think that like at that point, if you're getting to a divorce, it was done long before then. That person is already checked out and they were already processing it. So the person that initiates it, like it was already over by the time it's over. And something that has really, more so now in the dating scene, boundaries don't push the right people away. They reveal who is willing to respect them. And I remember at the end of the last relationship, I did try to set some boundaries and they were not respected. It was long distance. And we're talking long distance, like 11 hours long distance. And this is when we were still like together, supposedly together. I have no fucking idea at this point, but. And they ended up getting a job a half hour from my home. And I set a boundary that if they didn't show up, like this is it. And then I fucking keeled over and let it continue, but really fucking stupid. They decided to drive an hour and a half instead, or whatever it was, instead of coming and seeing me. And that was the first, like, this man does not fucking respect me. Like, This is not okay. What the fuck am I doing? What the fuck? Why am I accepting this bullshit? I want to be with somebody that literally, no matter how fucking pissed they are still gonna fucking come home at the end of the night. And that's the type of shit that would not be that type of thing. So if you're one of these girls out here, or even men out here that are accepting fucking breadcrumbs, you guys, wake the fuck up. Get your fucking head out of your ass and just open your eyes and be like, okay, let me write out a pros and cons list and let's figure this out, right? So, what choosing yourself will look like is saying no without guilt, speaking your goddamn needs, telling people when there's something wrong and having an adult conversation about it, and if they don't reciprocate it, mark that off as a red fucking flag. Trusting your goddamn intuition. The more that you trust it, the more that you meditate, and the more that you think about it, the better off you're going to be. And the more you're going to be able to trust your intuition when it comes up. Walking away from things that no longer align with you. It's hard, you guys. It is so hard to walk away from situations that do not align with you, but you will be so better off, and the universe will commend you for it. And being okay if someone leaves you. I talked about it last time. The guy that I like is actively dating, and I'm actively dating, and like we are just being very open with each other about it. And at first I was really jealous, because I'm just a jealous ass bitch, okay? And I was really letting it bother me, and then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? He's not going to stop me from being with someone if it aligns better with me. Why the fuck would I want to stop him from being with someone? If I actually liked him and he finds somebody that is better for him than me, that's fucking great, because it wasn't meant for me anyways. So being okay with someone not choosing you. Building a life that you're proud of with or without that relationship. I am one of those people that normally plan my whole fucking future around a person. And this is the first time that I originally was trying to plan to pack up my shit and go on the road with someone. And when we split, I still said, you know what, fuck it. If I'm going to be single, I'm going to make a plan to pack up my shit and go on the road. I'm going to start chasing some fucking dreams. And now I'm kind of like not in that spot. But at the same time, like, I wasn't going to let that stop me. I made a plan. Plans change. It has changed. I'm not planning on leaving now. And I started to like learn, like, you can't change your life for a guy. I made a plan to make that happen by myself. I still want those things. I still want to travel. I still want to be able to do things. Well, now it looks a little bit different now. And I'm still planning to do everything on my own, if there's a man in my life or not. So I am stable. I am busting my fucking ass to make ends meet every single month. Somehow. I don't know how. Single parents, you guys are the shit. Shout out. And it's just so... it's empowering to just know that I have it no matter what. I have it no matter what. I don't need anybody. So have you ever changed who you are for someone else? What part of yourself did you leave behind? I feel like when we start to leave that part of us behind, we start to lose like our fun side and our childish side. Like that's like the first thing that goes, because you're no longer having fun and you're no longer like being able to enjoy life. So when you start to stop enjoying the small things and dancing in your kitchen and jerking or jiving around and fucking around with your person, like that's your first red flag. Like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this happening? What boundaries do I need to put in place? Where am I letting myself go? Are you chasing a connection or are you abandoning yourself? Like, are you in love with the fucking potential of a person? Because, god damn it, I have fallen in love with potential so many fucking times, you guys. I see the best in people. I see the best in jobs. I see the best in friendships. I see all of that. And when you break it down and you say to yourself, like, can I love them like this right now? If you can't say yes, then you know that your answer is no. Get the fuck out. What the fuck? Wake the fuck up. And if you chose yourself today, what would you change? So, don't fear losing people. Fear losing yourself while trying to keep them. And that's the biggest lesson I got for you guys today. Remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. Just keep showing up. Keep filling your fucking cup and keep living your raw truth.